Yo, it's your girl Jay. So let's talk about more components of hip hop culture. So things like diss tracks, battles, UK clashes, and verses. Yeah, so we had really famous diss tracks back in the day. I started off for me with Roxanne Shante, the real Roxanne. That went on for weeks. In high school, it was a big buzz around it, and it sort of went on and on. It was like it ended up with like the cousin, the auntie, the grandma doing diss tracks. Roxanne's auntie, Roxanne's brother. It was just crazy. It just went on and on and on. Brilliant though for the culture. Obviously, then there's like Tupac and Biggie, well-known diss tracks. East Coast versus West Coast artists. There was Ice Cube and Easy E. Juice Crew versus Boogie Down Productions. Now that was dope. Cool Mo D versus LL Cool J. There was MC Search versus MC Hammer. We had Dr. Dre versus Snoop even. Up until recently, we had like Joyner and Skepta. We've had Kendrick and Drake. There's just so many, and lots more that you can mention. Hundreds, in fact, thousands probably over the years from the start of hip hop. Then let's talk about UK clashes, because that is a big part of UK hip hop culture. So the most famous, well, or grime even, because it's all under the similar umbrella. So the most famous UK clashes were like Wiley and Kano, Chip versus Bugsy Malone, Dizzy Rascal versus Crazy Titch, Skepta versus Devilman. So they were well-known clashes, and they're the ones that I've heard of. And I'd say probably my favourite would be Wiley versus Kano out of those. And so, what were your favourite? If you're up on UK culture as well, if you're off in the UK, what were your favourite clashes? We've got to talk about the verses. Top verses: Manny Fresh versus Scott Storch, Nelly versus Ludacris, Timbaland versus Swiss Beats, Little John versus T-Pain, Boy Ida versus Hit Boy, The Lox versus Dipset. Now for me, they were the best ones, but obviously we recently had the No Limit versus Cash Money. Dope. That was dope. I watched it start to finish. And what would you like as a versus? A lot of people like Little Kim and Nicki Minaj. I would like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B personally, but any of those three would be dope. People saying like Nas and Jay-Z. Tell me what you think about that. What would be your ones that you'd like to see in a versus? Also, best battle rappers. I mean, what do you think? People say people like Supernatural are their favourites. Old school, Eminem, Big Proof. I like Big Proof personally. MC Juice back in the day. There's like battle rappers extraordinaire, and they're still going on now. They're amazing. I watch a load of them. I watched Enes battling yesterday, but I think it was an old video, but I love Enes. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think. Tell me about your favorite battlers, your favorite clashes, who you'd like to see doing a versus or battle or clash. And also, diss tracks. Who would you like to see doing diss tracks back and forth still, or what were your favorite? Just give me some feedback and tell me what you thought about any of those subjects, and who you would like to include in the names there. Who are your favourites? Like, come on, give me some comments. Put them down below. Always love to see feedback. And I've got nothing left to say, guys, about anything other than I hope you're having a good one, wherever you are in the world and whatever time zone you're in. And also, peace from your girl.